Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, Gary.
Roll call,
Butts and floor.
Marley,
Here.
Alan Robbins,
President,
Tabitha,
Here.
Wesley,
Here.
Ken,
Present.
Alan Michelson. Here. Jim.
Here.
Matt.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, you've all had time to read the minutes. Are there any questions or corrections on the minutes? Otherwise, we need a motion to accept.
I move that the minutes be accepted as published.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Gary, do you have any additions to the bills?
No changes.
Okay, if there's no questions or corrections on the bills, we need a motion to pay them.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, before we start, well, did everybody see the eclipse? That was worth watching.
Good times.
I just want to thank Tabitha and Ken and the Easter Bunny, and Debbie Rustic, and
Yes.
others for all their help they were with that Easter party. It looked like everybody really liked it, so thank you guys. Okay, we'll start out with safety. Alan?
And we have Chief Kavanaugh with us today, so fire report.
Yes, sir. Good evening. We had 47 calls in the month of March. One in Chatham Township, 35 in Lafayette Township, 4 in Chippewa Lake, 5 in Torrey Glens, 1 in Westfield Center, and 1 in Westfield Township. 77% of those are EMS calls. Our average turnaround time is 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and year to date is 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and to get on scene is about 5 minutes and 31 seconds, which is pretty darn good. We gave automatic aid to Chatham Township, usually to Westfield Township, and usually to the village of Westfield Township. Our advisory committee met on March 21st. We demonstrated firefighter operations and auto extrication to the committee members. It was well attended. Our department, along with the county fire departments and police departments, participated in 3 tabletop exercises on the response to active shooters in our community. We attended the county fire chiefs meeting, all hazardous committee meetings, and then a hospital partnership meeting. And the Lions Club of Chippewa Lake donated $1,000 to a firefighter association, so thank you very much for that. And that was for the full lunch in February. Our pancake breakfast started this past Sunday. We had 620 participants, and it was a great day, and it probably gives a record day for us. So it's every Sunday in April, so please come out and attend. So what's that?
620.
620, yeah, 620 people is the highest we've ever had.
Last year they had 400 and some on the first weekend.
Yeah, so we were busy. Still can't walk very well. I'm tired, still tired that day, but it was great. It's an awesome event. So, Dr. Kelly Parker will finish up your firefighter 1 course this month and moving on to the firefighter 2 certification. Andrew Berger, Alex Thomas, and Allison Javlis have completed their fire officer 2 certification course, and Todd Kemp completed his hazmat technician course this past month. Our flag was down for a few weeks. Our flag was down for a few weeks. Our light was out, so that has been fixed. So our flag's back up and flying high. So our digital sign is going to be repaired this month. It's still functioning, but it needs an upgrade, so that's going to get repaired. The siren test that happened last month, the National Tornado Drill, our siren did not go off. Many of the county sirens did not go off because there was a issue with the repeater for the county. So the county had an issue with the system, and that's been replaced or fixed. So the siren is now functioning.
What day was that?
That was, it was March 21st, I think, March 21st. So yeah. And then we hired 2 firefighters, Gabriel Smith, he's a firefighter 2 EMT, and he'll be starting paramedic school in the fall, and he lives in Montville Township. He's currently on Put in Bays Fire Department. So, and we also hired Volodymyr Novinsky. He's a local immigrant, Ukrainian immigrant, and he's pursuing a career in firefighting, and we're gonna give him the opportunity, so. And that is all I have. Any questions for me?
Did you know that our siren, well, you really aren't keeping track of our siren, but it did actually go off this past Saturday, loud and clear, like it worked.
It did.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
right at noon, like it was supposed to.
Perfect. That's good to know, because we're
It'd
working
be
on it.
better to know it comes on every month.
Yes.
But-
So that was the test, the noon test. So maybe the signal is better now for that.
Well, we heard that
Really low.
the new director that hadn't been appointed yet, has he been
She's
appointed?
still active.
The acting director, actually had to plug it back in, because Christine Fazio had unplugged it.
Could be part of it.
We don't know if that's been done.
Reception's been a big issue.
But it was really, really good Saturday.
Good. Well, I hope it's resolved, so I'd like to see this again.
I apologize to council, my day didn't go like it was supposed to go, so my reports didn't get printed out for you. I'll do that by the end of the week, and Gary will have those. You mentioned the advisory committee, I guess that's what you call it. I had my first opportunity to go a few Thursdays ago. Very interesting. It showed two videos from Underwriter Laboratories on burning inside of a house. New modern furniture and an older legend type of house that had old upholstery furniture, stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, but the new house, they started a fire on the couch, and 3 minutes and 39 seconds, the living room was fully engulfed in houses. And you saw what our turn times are fabulous, but we're not going to get there for 5 or 7 minutes. The older furniture house was like 29 minutes for the same engulfment. It was really pretty fancy. There was they showed two other videos. One is, what's the slang? Close before you doze. What they're trying to urge you is close your bedroom doors before you go to sleep. And they showed two videos of fire propagation where bedroom doors open, fire fully engulfs the bedroom, or smoke, or et cetera. The one where the door was closed in a period of time, in that same period of time that the one was engulfed over here, just burn and smoke around the edge of the door. Pretty enlightening to them. They showed two live things where they had 3 fire departments in a mutual aid scenario where they were coming up. Lafayette was the lead with the fire hose, and when the other truck came up, on how they operate the pumper part of the truck, and then the third one's coming in for backup. Because mutual aid is just critical to the types of work that they do in small or any town, any fire department. That was fascinating. And then we had to play with the jaws of life to cut up a car. I don't know whose car that was, but they chopped it up pretty good. So as advisory, Curtis Perkins is on there, and several other local residents come down. We're trying to educate people in the community to go out and talk to you or others about issues with the fire department. And now that COVID monies are away, we've all went through kind of rich times, let's call it. And rich times are coming back. There's deficits that you can just see coming out that are coming forward. What that means for a levy or staffing or all of those things, you have to be determined, but you can certainly see the headlights coming at you. But thank you, Brian, for your work there.
Thank you.
Chief, I have one more question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get the train schedule yet?
So I do not have a train schedule, but I've talked to CSX and Wheeling and Erie and the other one, Norfolk Southern. They were doing some repairs on those tracks, but they don't currently use that track other than for repairs. They have repair vehicles and they told me they don't have any locomotives or have any trains come down that area, but they do have vehicles coming down, so that could be, and they may have train sirens on the vehicles possibly, but they're doing repairs throughout that area. That's what I've known so far. I'm trying to they're gonna give me a specific schedule of what tracks are active, what are not active in our township.
There's still occasional trains going through there, and I know, I was talking to somebody who works at the Park District, they've seen them.
Okay.
I'm not saying they go like they used to, but they're there.
I was told they were working on that track about a month and a half.
Kind of funny they're working on a track that's not being used.
Yeah, no, exactly, right.
Okay, well, thanks for checking.
Yes, ma'am.
Deputy Hardy is on assignments. There was a lot of extra efforts on, with the solar eclipse. I don't know anything specifically bad, but I heard there were 200,000 people outside of Cleveland Stadium, the Brown Stadium, let alone the Indian Stadium. So I know we had nice groups going on at our village, but that was pretty spectacular. So I'm just saying apology to council. I will have my formal report by the end of the week to send him. I'll just read from here. Total hours for the week were 84. Our target is 80. RA 36, Yarborough 23, Lyon 25. Estimated gas usage 33.1 gallons. Miles patrolled 554. Activities, alarm activated or entry or burglary 2. Civil paper service 2. Drunk driving complaint 1. Theft larceny 1. Extra patrols 128. Traffic enforcement radar total 1. Victor watches 63. I see a lot of our Victor watch people are back in the village. Good to see you. Blockouts 2. Domino pane 1. Abandoned vehicle 1. Agency assist 1. Building business checks 12. Some type of explosion 1. Fall victim 1. Fraud identity theft 1. Follow-up total 1. Golf cart inspection 1. Heart problem 2. K9 assist request 1. Standby assist general escort 1. Traffic complaint 1. Traffic stops 5. Unwanted subject 1. Welfare checks 3. Total of 235, which is quite a few more activities than we generally have at this time. Climbing up from here. No particular issues from Officer RA. Is there anything from the community they want to bring up? The only other suggestion, I mentioned it briefly to Mayor Darrow, with the park activities with the park district and new rules. I was urging that Nate Epic could send, their monthly summary of activities that the police on Chippewa Lake is the most important thing. And I could report those in my regular safety report to give an archive to that, because there was a lot of misinformation provided and timeliness on their side and unawareness on our side. So
I'll check with him, Alan. I was gonna ask him, but we've been doing some other stuff with him, so.
yeah, I think it would be valuable to the community, and it helps with the way that Gary Harris publishes our minutes. It would archive some of those things for future use and or conversation in a timely manner as opposed to something happened 18 months ago. So that's it I have at this point. Proceed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now, before we go to zoning, we have members of the ski team here. So, Tim, did you want to do this so you guys, in case you want, I don't know why you'd want to leave, but in case you want to leave, you could.
Oh, I'm here for the duration, so,
Oh,
but, yeah, let's get it done.
Go ahead.
So I did bring the special use permit. There was some questions about if the maintenance of the ropes throughout the summer. I explained it kind of that we really don't have people here all the time to fix stuff like right now. So what we did is we talked about having, if you need to make emergency repairs, that the parks will take care of emergency repairs and let us know. Then when people are here on Thursday or Saturday, we'll take care of final repairs or anything else that did need help with. Does that work?
Well, one of the things that we have finally figured out is that we need to get people from the village that know how to fix those ropes as well as ski team. I know that a lot of the people that used to do that kind of it kind of automatically all got taken care of, but the membership has changed.
Correct.
And, a lot of people that knew how to do all that seem to have moved away. And so, I did talk to Ken about this. I know Tom Melder has, wanted to get involved with the ropes and has bought new ropes. So I think that if we have a group from the village, Ken's gonna coordinate that. And a couple people from the ski team that are aware of how it's done, and it'd be easier than just kind of harassing one person we think knows how to do it, you know?
Yeah,
And so I think that's one of the things that we have to think about is, you know, different people learn how to fix those, so that,
yeah, that works great. Yeah, we're willing to help. It's just, as you said, you know.
are there any changes in what, now, Leslie, you're new, the ski team gives us an agreement every year, basically saying the different things they're gonna do, spring maintenance, summer maintenance, use the beach on Thursday nights and Saturday mornings. Those kind of highlights. Have their show on Labor Day and the 4th of July, clean the beach, in the spring. You don't clean the beach in the fall, right? Just the spring?
No.
Okay.
Oh, we just put the brush.
They all buy, members of the ski team do buy beach passes for, a lot of them don't live here, but they do buy beach passes. And that just kind of puts them on the beach. I don't believe a lot of them use the beach otherwise. They just come during practice.
Yeah.
Because you do have a lot of people that don't live in Chippewa compared to what it used to be.
That's correct.
So that's basically what their agreement is. And so once a year, we agree to this agreement. So is there anything else that I left out there, Tim?
I don't see the language that you mentioned today.
It's in the first.
Though the game plan is to standardize, the setup. And this, I mean, this is what you guys have been doing for the most part, some changes, and Tom Melton very much involved, and then I spoke with him, but, you know, that way, if you're not doing it next year, or I'm not doing this next, somebody's gonna have a diagram, a setup, and a game plan on how to do it, they just have to pick it up and then figure it out. So that's what we're gonna, and all of us work together. And, but that's the game plan. So that's on my list, and it happens quick, so I gotta get on it. Get with you guys, get with Tom, and, I'm just gonna be doing the listening and taking direction, because I don't know too much about this stuff. I'll just be compiling and have it there. So
What's
that's-
Mal Belcher's role in this again, because he's not in part of the ski team anymore?
He's willing to help. In fact, yeah, he's.
He made
he
a
wants to be
donation,
involved.
to the parks last year for ropes, and he already bought some equipment
He
for
did,
new
yeah.
ropes. And when he gets back, I guess he's gonna, give rope lessons for?
Yeah, he promised that he would help, and, he doesn't have to, obviously, but he wants to. So, and I'll graciously take his help. I mean, all of us will, you know, at least get everything in place with his expertise. But yeah, he donated, made that nice donation, bought stuff, bought equipment. He has the equipment at his house right now, so some of it's bought. So that's a plus. But I did want to mention, Tim, like you put in here, $250. Otherwise you'd have to ask for, you know, that you want to increase. I think you should make it $500. If I said it coming to us, I think that's fair for supplies and whatnot. If they
I
need
just
to
put a
buy
number in there,
floats.
that we're not spending $20,000, so.
Right, yeah, but I'm saying instead of like, now it's 300 and you know. I'd be okay with $500 on that. It's probably, you know, because material could get expensive, and also, wow, bam, you gotta replace the ropes and buy some floats and whatnot. So I think that would be
Okay,
more
well,
realistic. Other than that, I don't know.
I'll increase
Look
it,
through it briefly.
email it to you and Joanne.
Okay.
Go from there.
You should make sure the village gets a copy of your certificate of insurance,
Yeah,
just for the records.
you receive that via postal mail,
Okay,
so that is automatically sent out.
great.
I know that the village was already named insured through our insurance.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me that you already have.
Ken, we need a motion.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to make a motion to accept the terms of the agreement.
Second.
Amended to $500
Oh, right, amended to $500
in 2 places.
in 2 places, in C, two places in C. Section 1, letter C.
Right here, Jerry.
You had a second?
I did, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you guys for. Okay, zoning?
Alrighty, zoning for April. 9 Parkway Path. Alan, do you have an update?
Yeah, the, heard nothing from the owner, which is typical. And, the lender, there was a mortgage on it, and they reported that the balance is $79,000. And they also finally decided that they're not gonna do any fix-up on the property because the mortgage isn't behind, it's not in arrears. So we're set up to demolish it if we want to. We've got all the notices in place. And anytime.
I would like to move forward on that. That's up to council. But decision.
Well, I'm seeing some comments on budget issues from Gary Harris on over expenditures. Our numbers we looked at on tearing down a house of that previously that was in the $10,000 to $15,000 range. So,
Which is what I put in the budget.
okay, well, I'm just saying that he has concerns about how the budget is being built going into year end and carryover.
Have you gotten any type of a quote to demolish the houses that needed to be done?
Not yet, because I didn't want to have people coming, if it wasn't gonna be something you wanted to do. But I can have 2 or 3 estimates for it for the next meeting.
That's a good.
This would be money that the village would never get back.
Right. I can put a lien for the cost of the demolition on the property, but it's after the mortgage, which is $79,000. So I can't see the bare lot going for $79,000.
They can.
Wouldn't we be better off just finding this guy and letting him keep paying? Than spend our money that we're never gonna get back?
Because he is paying the fines.
But it doesn't take away the problem.
Right.
It's the problem is it's an invested area that's full of mold that the neighbors are having to live around. It's not healthy.
Yeah, I know, Jim, but it's kind of expensive to take it down. So
Well, I
that's
think-
part, I think we have to think about.
We need to have some costs, real costs. We just been pulling stuff out of our back pocket.
And I would guess between 10 and 15 as a fair estimate.
Sounds
We'll have
right.
a couple estimates for next time.
So that's something the fire department could practice with?
They're no.
We've tried
We
that.
can only hope.
I've tried it in other villages. They don't want to do it. It's too much of a hassle now to do it.
We can't burn it
Burn
down. We could practice on it, we can't burn it down.
Right.
We could demolish a lot, but we could
It's a
do a lot of the,
It's a lot of red tape, isn't it?
yes, absolutely.
Nearly impossible.
Yeah, EPA kind of regulates all that.
Catch us for arson or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such a problem for a long period of
It
time.
actually is not fun.
Joanne, I thought there were several people interested in buying that house.
There is, but they won't respond, the guy won't respond to them.
Everybody who's been interested, I've given the owners a name, address, phone number too.
Why the hell should we ever go to the expense of tearing it down when there's 3 people that want to buy it?
Because the guy's gotta wanna sell it.
Yeah.
We can't make him sell
Well,
it.
we can't tear it down if he doesn't
Here's your
want to do
connection.
that either, can he?
We can't, whether we tear it down, because we declared it a nuisance, but we can't sell it.
Alan's gonna give the name of the potential buyers to the mortgage company. See how that works?
Yeah, I'll give them the contact information on the mortgage people, but
Apparently his mortgage is up to date.
It is, and so are his taxes.
That's why I say, why don't we just fine him?
Well,
Why are we messing?
whenever we take him to court, he pays the fine.
Because
Fair, that's
if you live next to that house, we would hear about it all day long, every meeting.
I live next to Privilege, take your.
Well, that's why we're pursuing this, we're trying to, the neighbors up there have just as much interest in having a clean, healthy area as you do on your street and any other street in this village.
We've never had a neighbor from up there come and complain about that house.
No.
Not like they have about other properties, no offense, Bill.
I mean, are the fines that we can impose on this, like, graduated, that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's zoning, so I think we
I mean,
can't.
the cars,
The limit is $500 per offense. And the court has to set the fine. We can't say, we're fining you, you know, we have to take it to court.
Maybe if we save up enough of this fine money, we'll have enough money to get it done.
We've
I mean, the car
collected-
is outdated.
We've collected thousands of dollars from them already.
Yeah,
I mean, you can give us that number, couldn't you, Alan?
yeah.
Not right now,
I don't have it here, but I have it. There, I've had, what, 5 or 6 cases against him.
but yeah, at least $4,000 we got from the guy.
But with each time we file against them, do the fines gradually increase? Or is it the same
That's
amount?
up to the magistrate or judge. And we've got pretty cooperative court, but not a municipal court. They take it seriously, you know, but you can't throw them in jail. You can only fine them so much.
He doesn't.
When you,
Pays the fines, there's no other recourse.
Alan, when you wrap up these things, like this person has a reoccurring same problem,
Yeah,
do you alert the judge or magistrate at what time? If he doesn't clear it up in 30 or 60 days or whatever the term is, back bombing you again, so that they know
yeah.
that the magistrate knows that this is a reoccurring serious problem for the community.
Do you know if any of those potential buyers have actually gone there, or you've just given them the information?
They know the house.
I mean, gone to him? You
I don't
said-
know,
yeah.
I don't know, because that's their business. But I can encourage them if they're still interested, you know, it's been a while. And I'll talk to them, actually. But unless, the owner is declared mentally incompetent and gets a guardian or something, we can't make him sell the house. Usually we move these things along because they don't pay their taxes or their mortgages foreclosed, but and then, even with the taxes, we could end up owning the property if it won't sell at a tax sale. But not in this case.
So the actions are you're getting budgets for demolition, and Alan, you're doing contact or putting the potential buyers together with the mortgage company or the.
Yeah, I'll make contact with them. I think there's 2 or 3 people. I've got their contact.
Do you want Al to find them again?
Yeah, I think so, or less than that.
It seems like beating a dead horse. I mean, it doesn't accomplish anything.
Gets
other
us
than
money.
Get us a little
Rather than not
finance.
spending.
What gives yourself to do in a month while he's getting us the budget? Yeah. All you're
And then we
doing
could get a number together on the money we collected from them already and give an idea of the budget that he's given us.
Get to bill us more money a month.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
All right, great. Rustic Brook, 227 Rustic Brook. The bank has come in and has been cleaning up the place. So it's not completely done, but at least there's progress being made there. And we know who to contact. 286 Briarwood Boulevard, the contractor will be reworking the roof overhangs on both the garage and patio roofs in order to comply with setbacks. This is, I'm not sure exactly how fast this is going to happen, but he did say that the carpenters that were building it were the ones that made the mistake from the plans. So he was contacting them to come back and do the corrections. 238 Circle Crest, warning notice is posted for removal of a temporary structure. And also 354 Briarwood Boulevard, a warning notice posted for the removal of the temporary structure.
What were the temporary structure?
Those canvas garage things, they've popped up here and there. And some of them have been up for a little while, so we were moving in on letting them know and to be aware of 304F in our code, stating that they need a permit in order to do that, and the permit's good for 6 months. So we've hit a couple, and we've got a few more, I think, around the village to make them aware of it. And that's what I have for the zoning. Onto permits, I have 24-005, 224 Shadow Shore Drive. That was the variance that was approved by council. And 24-006 at 224 Shadow Shore Drive is the permit for the roof covered concrete patio. 24-007 at 170 Circle Crest Drive, and that is a permit for a fence. 24-008 at 280 Park Lake Drive, and that is also a permit for a fence. And the last thing that I have on my list is I had AJ come around and we looked at trees. Garmin was the first stop, and we found an uprooted tree that's leaning over on other trees. There are some other trees that are so healthy, and around the area of the stop sign, some visibility needs to be made for safety. So he gave me a price for $300 for that. In Park Lake and Beach side, there's a dead pine tree. There's some trimming along the creek, and there's some dead things in there that he can remove. And that was a price of $200. And then the other side in Craggy Creek, the other side of the west side, I believe, of the bridge, there's a box elder tree that's fallen over and it's in the creek. And he gave us a price for $500 to take.
Is that ours? The one that's falling?
I believe so. I can double check it with the maps, I guess, but it's just something that's.
Barb, the house is on, like where Jan Harmon's is and all that, don't those people own
I thought that they.
the other side on Park Lake? They don't, but the ones on the Craig Creek side, they do, don't they?
Right,
Yeah, Craigie Creek's properties cross the creek to Park Lake.
So you might want to check that
the
second.
dead pine tree, is that the one right by the corner by the bridge?
Yeah,
I don't think that's ours. AJ came in a while back and he was trimming, and I think I even said something, Keith was right there, he said that it belonged to the homeowner on the beach side.
The one right at the
Because even
bridge.
like that, I wanna say the top of the tree might have snapped off or something, there's like a widowmaker up there.
well,
I mean, that was like 2 years ago, I think, that AJ might have been down there trimming some things up. I think after a storm. And
it looks to be ours from the map. And I'll double check on the box elder that's laying in the creek, but I didn't think anything about, it not being ours because we own that area,
the
so,
park side of it.
yeah. So that's all. He gave us numbers for it, so it's $1,000 for all of that stuff.
Well, just make sure those other ones, those are ours,
Yeah,
because that's kind of tricky in through there.
yeah.
But I have 2 things for zoning too.
Okay.
And I don't know if we need to discuss, I sent that email about the vacant parcel on Brook Shore for Atherton. I got a phone call, somebody asking if we would sell the parcel, and I think we determined via email that it's not a buildable parcel and that we're not gonna be putting a road in, so I didn't know if we needed to just discuss that at the meeting or if the email correspondence was sufficient.
I think that part of Brookshire was vacated and doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So it has no right of way.
And the village has no intention of completing a road there, so I need to follow up with them and let them know I'm doing due diligence. And then, the other issue, that I guess, I sent the email about Dr. Senekazli wanting to build a garage. She just wanted to get the ball rolling on discussing that property. She's actually here this evening. So I didn't know if you wanted her to say anything or discuss it.
I had just a couple of questions. Yeah. I view that's a non-producing asset for the village. There's very little to be gained for the village to have. But, Doctor, on you're building a 3-car garage up there. That wouldn't require any variances to complete that as it's being designed?
Do you know if it would require a variance, Heidi?
I'm not aware of that. I haven't gotten that far into the process. I initiated the process just looking at, the property lines and, where locationally it would be a possibility. And there was some confusion about that initially, so I wanted to formally initiate the process so I could move forward to answer those questions, how much for the council myself.
Yeah, it should be hoping you accomplish it without a variance. Obviously, it's a critical piece of property up there. I rely on comments from neighbors on that transaction, but I can't remember. I think when I first came on council last century, whenever that came up, it never moved forward. And I don't know
So
the reasons why.
they did talk to Benningers. They didn't have any issue with her building a garage. The only issue is that the village owns that little loop and so.
I think the other try to move forward with it.
How far, like, okay, so you got that little horseshoe kind of driveway that goes around the pine trees, and you got that little shed there now. How far into that horseshoe driveway would the new structure go?
So,
I mean, would you just take down those pine trees and make that like a driveway, or?
correct. So that area where the shed is, I aesthetically wanted to, compress that area as much as I could, not only for the, what I wanted, but also so it wouldn't obstruct the view of the lake for anyone. So I would prefer to be able to utilize the area that abuts the fence line and remove the shed where it stands now and put it, vertically in that location. So, and it's actually, I wanted space to put, the 2-car garage plus a space to put my boat. So, to minimize that area as much as I could, with a building, but just wanted, again, to got that before I.
But, okay, so from where that shed is, you got that horseshoe driveway that goes around there. How far would your new structure come into that horseshoe and or that island where the 2 trees are?
So it would, so that the island sits right in the center and there's the horseshoe driveway. I would use a portion of the one side of the horseshoe per se.
The house side?
Yes, and put it in direct line with my home, or parallel to it. So as close to my home as I could get it, based on where the existing fence line is. So in terms of the distance from, that island to the top of that or the front of that structure, I would have to have an architect take a look at that, and I couldn't give you an exact number, if that's what you're at.
Because I know you're coming down from the bay there, I mean, that's a clear shot of the lake there.
Right.
Is that gonna be obstructed?
It would not obstruct the lake view.
And Gary could probably do a pencil sketch even. He just didn't want to move forward at all if it was a non-starter. So Gary Gretz is the contractor. He could probably just measure it out and kind of give us an idea. Maybe we could mark the property and I could take some more pictures and bring them back. But he didn't want to do anything if it was gonna be a no-go, so.
Well, we just wanted to, we wanted a blessing of the, obviously, the council before we even initiated that
Well,
expense.
the property has to be sold at an auction, so you'd have to win the bid of the auction, let's say. And then you have the issue of what you're trying to build. I can see you don't want to do one before the other,
Yes.
but we probably couldn't give blessing until we actually have some kind of idea how it's gonna, and then make that, comments to the residents to make sure it's appropriate, let's put it that way.
Alan has to check something on that. When that house was built, when Charles Marshall built that house, our zoning board at the time gave the house too many variances for decks. And what they did was they basically gave Marshall a deck for every area that was a parking spot. So then Charles Marshall took us to court on that. And I do know that there was some kind of decision made on a parking space or two, and I want Alan to check that. I can't remember exactly. Do you know when your house was built, Heidi?
It's 100 years old, but it's actually two separate properties.
It's not 100 years old. I mean, I'm talking about when it may have originally been, part of it probably your kitchen and then through there.
Yeah.
But the other part of it, Charles Marshall is the one that built that, and then Randy Baird owned it for a long time.
It would be a gas, maybe 50.
So I'm gonna say sometime maybe possibly in the 90s was when that big remodel came.
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
And so, I want Alan to check that court case that we had on that property to see what, there was some decisions made there.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But we don't remember what they.
I don't remember, but
They're for parking areas and stuff. We just want to see where that ended up. Because we did have to give some of the village property up. And then another time there was, like a putting green over there, towards the walkway that Randy Baird put in, but he didn't own that property. We did. And then we did a land exchange with him, and he gave us some properties by the pond here, and we gave him where the putting green is, but,
must have been a survey.
we need to look some stuff up on that property, because that's just been a little bit confusing, and I know we're all calling it a driveway, but it really isn't a driveway, that circular
Village
area.
property.
Yes, I'm aware. It's complex for sure.
So I think I would like him to research that a little bit before we give you any sort of answer, so that we're aware of what we're talking about,
Right.
which is always helpful if we know what we're talking about.
A drawing of where the garage would be would help too, I think.
And you could probably do that, I mean, just kind of sketch it out without having to have an architect go
Right.
through that.
Yeah,
Just so everybody had a location idea.
Then I can get those, but your
Okay,
things you sent, show some of that.
Yeah, I had photos, yeah.
do you have anything else, Leslie?
No, that's all that I have. Yeah.
We'll get back to you, Heidi, on that, okay?
thank you.
What we find out.
You live there year round?
Yes.
You're in it? I kind of thought so, but I just wanted to double check.
I read it over on my phone, but yeah.
Okay,
Line drawing.
is there anything else for zoning?
No, I think I'm done.
Anybody have anything for zoning? Okay, we'll go to community relations, Tabitha.
First off, I want to thank Ken and Lori for help with the Easter party. Of course, Matt too. I forced him to do it though. He didn't get a choice. Also want to thank Debbie Rustic. She came and helped out with the party, and she came to my house a few days prior.
How many eggs did you guys stuff?
800 to 900 eggs we stuffed. Matt helped with that too. We gotta give him.
I bet it's thrown.
You wouldn't believe I was doing
It wasn't that bad. It only took a couple hours, one bottle of wine, we were fine.
That's it?
That's it. It was just one bottle. It was a work night. I can't have more than that.
You're easy.
person?
So the party was really, really good. We had approximately 20 to 30 kids. We had a lot of little tiny munchkins this time around, from like 2 to 6, couple 7 and 8-year-olds, but usually I've got some 10 and 11, 12. I didn't have any of the big kids this year. It was all little kids. It was super cute. Our Easter bunny was a local girl who used to live here in the village. She grew up here. She has family connections here. She's got kids that are grown now, so she was really excited. She was a really great bunny, actually. She was really interactive. I mean, she took babies and was holding them and pictures and all the things. So she was awesome. That's it on the Easter party. I won't bore you with that anymore. We finally got the agreement signed and done for the stickers for the watercrafts. So Amber is going to be helping us this year with selling those stickers for the Park District. We will be doing that in conjunction with our normal beach passes. And I know she's got a system in place she's already planning on doing. She's not home yet from Florida, but as soon as she's here, which is gonna be in a couple weeks, she's gonna contact me so I can get her the stickers so we can provide them in the manner to the people that need them.
The official name of the sticker is docking permit.
Docking permit.
Okay.
Okay,
Not to be confused with dock permit.
because it's completely separate.
Do you have any idea of when you're gonna have those sales? Like, do you usually use a building?
Yeah, no, I don't have, but I'll get
There's
that.
one in May.
Sure.
Amber said there's one in May,
Mhm.
a little closer to Memorial Day, but I don't think it is Memorial Weekend. And she will also be putting all this online, probably anytime now, because her and Donna from the Park District are working on this. Again, we are selling the docking permits. We keep all the fees that we collect into our general fund, and that's what we do. We do not set the prices, we do not enforce. We don't do anything but sell stickers and collect money.
Like a
it's good.
middleman providing
Is there an
stickers.
estimate on how much revenue would come?
I've heard rumors of $10,000.
Yeah, that's what I heard
That's
too.
true.
That'd be great.
But they set the price, we don't. There's a lot of different prices on those. So we don't want to get involved in that part of it. So basically that's what we're doing, selling permits and keeping the money. We can do that.
Last thing I've got, the newsletter will be out by the end of the month. And I will try to have some of this information with the stickers in there, because this is new for us, since we're helping the Park District out with it by administering the sale of them for the Park District. It's gonna be different. Usually, we've all gotten letters from, boat owners have gotten letters from the Park District, have stuff into Donna by April 15th, so she can get the stuff out. So things are gonna be a little different this year. And that's all I have.
I want to mention something about Amber, because I was talking with her today. Originally, we were talking about, actually, I thought it was in place, but, we put a salary in for her. I don't know if it ever got finalized, because it had not. And, but she's okay with that, but she did ask that her fees get waived for all her hard work and consideration of what she does for the village. I think it's fair. Her fees, yeah, the docking, the stickers, and just her personal stuff.
I don't know if we can do that, because we don't make those prices up. We don't set those prices, the Park District does. That would be something the park would have to waive for her.
Okay,
we don't get
well, we
that.
could waive ours, of course, for her.
We could buy it for her.
We could purchase it for her.
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll purchase it for her. I think that makes sense. Because I think we agreed to $1,200 and that just never happened. I didn't know.
Well, she has taken on a new job now, and even though she's already got, a lot of this information we already have in place through our boat ramp, beach passes, so forth. And we will be checking, just like we check for the boat ramp, we're checking residents. We won't be checking lake rights, but we will be checking that they are residents. And we will be checking their watercraft, which we already have records of most of those, because I would venture to say majority of people do not get new boats, they keep the same boat, so when we have the new key sales intermittently, that normally it's, at least I think normally it's the same boat involved all the way through, so she probably has a lot of the records on it, but she just needs to add this to her system and kind of keep the money a little bit separated when she gives it to Gary, so he'll know how much of it is docking permits. So I think she ought to get something for doing all this. Because it is a lot of work.
Well, she doesn't want to do anything right now. She's okay with, she's thinking maybe next year. So she wants, she asked me to, hold off.
Well, she's very excited to do this.
Yeah, she is. She's gonna do a great job.
Okay.
And one other thing I wanted to mention, I guess the emails aren't going out, till the third week of April. So that's when, and she handles that too, so she's got the list and she's gonna just send them out at that point. Yeah, we don't get.
The only new thing we'll be doing with this, as far as what we do, is we are gonna be selling the docking permits for the, homes on Euclid Avenue, and I guess there's about 12 of them. So we will also be selling those, just for the docking permit.
May I comment on the Amber salary fee or whatever you care to call it? I went back 3 years. I went all the way back to 2021, and I could not find anything in minutes on that. I just looked in the April, May, and June timeframes for each of those years. If it could have been later in the year, I can check into that.
Yeah, I don't think it matters at this point, but I know it's discussed, we talked about it.
It was discussed. but it
We
was
have
never
talked about
implemented.
it,
Yeah, it might have been an email one, and then just never came up to a vote. Would that need to be a vote?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely. But it was
Okay.
never voted. Based on what I've seen thus far, I could not find any record of it, nor was it ever voted on.
she doesn't seem to really,
But she was okay with it. She just mentioned to me, I'm like, what? Because, yeah. But, it
well, we
actually
can
worked out.
watch the situation and see how it goes.
Okay, yeah.
A question, is this a year that we have to get new keys as well?
No, we did that last year,
Okay,
but beach passes are sold every year.
right.
I think next year would be the new keys, won't they?
I think so. It was the last year before. Yeah, every 3 years.
That'll give her a chance to figure out these, so she's not telling everything all at one time.
Yep.
And I have every reason to believe she'll do it well. Okay, is there anything else for community relations?
I don't have anything else at this time.
Okay, Barb, building and utilities?
It's pretty quiet, not much going on. I did put new batteries in the clock, that's up to date. Did,
The monthly batteries.
yes, I know I set the clock, but. Couple street lights that need to be reported that are out, one on Garmin and one right here on the boulevard here. It's one pole that has a light going on each side, so I'll get those reported. The backflow was completed and, taken care of. All the paperwork was submitted to the appropriate parties. The voting went well. Set up, tear down, all went well. Thank you to Tamitha and the group for putting the building back together after the Easter party. I came in to clean, I'm like, huh?
I vacuum and everything after I'm done.
I was greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Barb, for letting the election people in and take care of all that.
Yeah, we had a different group this year, or this time around. It was, the normal chairperson was not our normal lady. And we had a couple new poll workers, so it was a different group, but it went well. But that's really, I think, all that I have. Other than the building will be used, Mark and Lisa aren't here, but they will be having a Save the Lake meeting on Wednesday here at 7 o'clock. And then the Garden Club is here next Monday, and they're having some kind of wetland restoration speaker come in to talk about that on Monday, next Monday. And I think that's it.
Keith called and said that he took down the flag on Bungalow
Yeah, it's-
because he couldn't stand it any longer.
I go by
Because it's
there,
ruined, not because he doesn't like
I go by there a lot, and it was tattered. It was not horrendous, but it was tattered. I do have the flag sitting in my house. I was kind of maybe wait to see some of these spring storms blow by before I put a brand new flag up there to get.
Guess you have it up on Memorial Day.
It'll be up soon, but I just was, yeah, I didn't know who took it down, but I knew it had been taken down. I knew it was tattered, and I have the flag, as I mentioned last month, but I was just kind of maybe gonna hope to wait to see some of these spring storms that blow through there, because that really takes a beating up there. So, but I didn't know who took it down, but I knew it had been taken down. I didn't know how it had been.
He called yesterday and said he was gonna tell you, so.
Okay. I'll get the new one up.
I think we ought to put the flag up tomorrow morning.
Wait a minute, let me recheck my notes. The one that took it down was Bud.
Oh,
He's the one that couldn't take it. But I don't think he's.
and you want it up tomorrow morning?
Yep, and I'll put it up if you want, but that flag ought to be up there all the time. The Chippewa Lake flag is up there 365 days a year.
We have a flag in front of our building here, so we're not totally flagless, Bill, just so you know.
I'll get it up.
Just a thought.
It won't be up tomorrow morning, but it'll be up.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
He's back.
Yeah.
Go to the ally here today too, I was kidding on that one, should have never cut down without another one being.
Well, that's why I didn't take it down. I mean, it was tattered and I
If
don't
somebody
like
goes
it,
fake Bud, that's a no-no.
so.
Barb's job, not his.
While we're on the topic, I would like to give a little shout out to Tim Davison because he owns the flagpole on the lake. And if anybody says anything about it, he changes it the next day. So, I mean, he's not here all the time. I saw somebody make a comment on Facebook. I texted him, he changed it the next day. So it's really a nice
Good.
thing.
That's good that flagpole's being used too.
Is that his flag?
That's his flagpole, yeah.
Okay, anything else for buildings? Okay, Ken, parks?
I have a couple projects that I wanted to talk about. We'll start with the Bungalow Bay Park Rehab Project. We started that last year, got the trains taken care of, and bunch of the, had to stop because of, started getting cold and whatnot. But this should finish it up. A few things I want to propose. And I put money in the budget for this. But we need to paint and rehab the benches and the playground equipment, so it's gonna be scraped, cleaned, and repaired, and then painted. That's actually a pretty big task. So that would be, I got a quote for $1,500. So along with that, also, we were planning on rehabbing the shuffleboard court. We were talking about this last couple months. And John Sandor got us a quote through the same company that surfaced our tennis court, the snaps court. And I guess these, as for shuffleboard courts, these are top notch. I know Bill mentioned that he played on one recently, the snaps court one. And can you tell us a little about it? You recommend that?
Yes, there was a shuffleboard court like this down in Florida. And boy, I'll tell you, it was great. And they put a big box at the end of it to keep the sticks and pucks in it, so you didn't have to walk all the way down to the beach to find them. And it was a lock on it that was locked, just like the lock that we have going into the lake. Same lock.
Combination lock.
Same lock, key, just like the one.
We have combination locks down there now.
He's talking about the gate.
Gate key.
Gate key.
Oh.
The only problem with that, that's a good idea, but after talking to Amber, she brought something to light, which makes a lot of sense. If they don't, we don't want to give somebody a key to the gate unless they got a boat. So that's going to take people away then. So I mean, maybe a combination. I mean, we'll revisit that. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
That makes
we don't want to
sense.
put, we don't want to something else for her to sell right now, plus those are kind of tricky locks that go with that key.
Well, I think Bill was, I think he was, talking, use the same key. So if you got a ramp key, you can get into that. Is that what you were
If you
saying?
don't have a boat,
But if you don't have a boat, then we can't sell you a key.
So what?
So, well, yeah, but what if they don't have a boat, but they want to play
We're
shuffleboard?
probably not gonna do it that way, we'll have to do a different lock.
We just gotta give it
Amber's
some
doing enough
thought.
this year. We can't add that to our list right now.
We'll give that some thought,
But we
but,
could try that combination lock like they have at the beach,
yep,
which is pretty easy and no key required.
yeah, that,
And we're not gonna put the combination right there on the box, we'll work it out.
The
yeah.
box has to be locked.
Oh, yeah, those are gonna steal and that's, equipment's expensive. So we had some quote, there are two different, directions we could have went. I got a quote to have it painted, and then, just to have it painted was about $700, and to have it painted, with a two-part epoxy. And then, of course, we would have to get the stencil. Stencil's a couple $100. You really need that, otherwise it's gonna kind of look crappy. Or this direction, going through Snap Sports, and there's a lifetime warranty on this, just like our tennis court. You're looking at, yeah, it's, I pass it around everyone.
16-year warranty.
16-year warranty.
60, what did I say, lifetime, meant 60. Lifetime would be nice. Well, who knows, maybe it's my lifetime. But, the total cost, including, let's see, it would be the court, equipment, pretty much everything you need. And there's a breakdown, I pass it along to everybody there. You're looking at a total of, $2,328.58. I think that would be money well spent. I think a lot of people would use that. I would also recommend, a box to have the equipment in. Andy Weimer, and some of this included the equipment, which we might not be able to buy because Andy is donating a scoreboard and, some sticks and pucks and whatnot. He's got quite a few of them but we'll see what he has. And what I would suggest doing is using the endowment money for all of this whole project. We have $6,701.60. And this would total, the whole project would cost, $4,378.58. And I think that'd be a good place to spend. It wouldn't even be all of the endowment money, but it would be a good place for that. I think all the family would really like their money being put that direction. And that's something that's gonna last. We just painted it. I think it might last 5-6 years. It depends on, who knows? It might last 10 years, most likely it won't. So that's what I would, any thoughts on this?
And the endowment money was there,
Yeah, there was a balance of 6,700, I think.
yeah,
I
I
think
was trying to remember, was it allocated to, what were the allocation capabilities of the endowment? No restrictions.
No
restriction. Is there any other people who are buying for the endowment money in the budget?
This time, no.
I think Keith, he earmarked it for some, tree work over at the pond.
He got a lot of money for the pond, he didn't use it.
Yeah, right, and I think that's where
Yeah,
it
use all
came back.
I think it's money well spent.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. I don't have, numbers on this, but I know we need gravel under the benches over there and the teeter-totter, or swing set rather. I don't have, but I couldn't imagine that would maybe be a couple $100, just gravel dump there. And that would take care of it. That would take care of that whole park, and then I can move on to something else.
Are you, considering with gravel that the small parking area that is next to the slide? Because that looks
pretty bad too.
It looks really rough.
Yeah, okay. I'll take a look at that, and then we'll come back to that. but
Well, maybe
I-
by the time you get done with the gravel, you'll use all the endowment money.
Maybe, but, I'd like to appropriate these funds. I mean, is that everyone seems to be in agreement? It would be $4,378.58. And that would be for the Bungalow Bay Park Rehab Project from the endowment, the Auburn Endowment, Fund.
Motion.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to, encumber $4,378.58.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, good.
So what's this on page 2?
Okay, this is all right, we spoke about this, last year, and it's been talked about for a while. A lot of the residents are asking for a bocce ball court, another bocce ball court. This would be right next to the bocce ball court that we have at Point Park. It would be using the same, the one wall, if you call it a wall, whatever the tie is there, and that would tie into the other one there. And I mentioned this, I think it was in December. We didn't vote on it, but I got some pricing on this. And the pricing on this one, originally, this is going back 2018. It was $5,640. That was 2018, that was a long time ago. The pricing actually went down because we're using half of it. Pride agreed, right, I don't know if I said this, but it's right now the cost for this year would be $5,500. Pride agreed to kick in $1,500 of that, so that would leave a balance of $4,000 out the door, for everything. And that could be installed, this summer. It'll happen shortly.
Why is the bocce ball court that expensive?
That's just what it costs. Well, there's a lot that goes into
Some
it.
kind of drainage or something?
Yeah, drainage and it's special, material, the special service. Other people know more about it than I do, but it's pretty involved.
Yeah, the timbers ain't cheap around that either.
And they're big too. And it's used. I mean, I don't play. I want to play. I just haven't done it yet. But man, I drive by there. I mean, it could be 12 o'clock at night and you have adults out there playing.
They've got glow in the dark.
I know, it's supposed to be close, so they're breaking the rules.
The park closes when the lights come on.
It's true though. Yep.
Do you have that in your budget?
Yeah, I budgeted for that, yep. And I actually had some money for this here that we are, taking money from the endowment fund for that, but that was in there. I just didn't vote on it.
So you're making a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to encumber $4,000 for another bocce ball court at Point Park.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, I got one more price, I got some more money I want to spend, no, I'm just kidding.
You are cut off today. The most recreated community in the county.
All right, then we're gonna, let's, now, the beach rules, what did they call that?
The
Talking
park
about the lake rules?
The lake rules, right?
Wait, Ken, what is this? This is the.
That's where Joanne believes, and I think I agree with her, she was talking like good spot, because it's gotta be a big area that we need to put the sign's gonna be quite big. So there's really two areas down by our launch. There's one that, if you remember, the one that pulls out, that would apply, if we use that one to put the sign for the park rules that we asked for. If we put it there, it would block the view, people get mad about that, it's, kind of ugly. But right next to it, I have a picture, but it's right behind the shed, where it's a little tucked
Isn't this
away.
where the porta pot goes?
Yes.
No,
Yeah, right next to
Yeah.
his.
I thought that's further up though, it's like right here is a porta potty.
No, the porta pot goes right next to the fence.
Yes, I thought it was
Right in
further
front
up.
of that tree. And then the garbage can goes next to it.
Well, I mean, there is a
And
section
the kids are
here.
playing, they're playing basketball there, so you put a sign up, is it gonna become
A bounce off.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just, I just went down there and took some pictures.
You have
but it's
that
at
other
the
fence,
end all.
closer to the water.
Yeah, it's not close to the water. I mean, I could look down
No,
there.
the one, you had 3 pictures today that you sent.
Yeah.
The
There's
one
on
is
this
the
side.
one that's
There's that one
closest to
there.
the lake.
yeah, that would be.
I don't think it's.
Okay, this is a request from the park district to put up their rules that the stakeholders agreed on, that everybody just agreed on these park rules. And saying the rules aren't around, so now they have a sign they want to put up. It sounds like a lot of rules, so
I
I'm
mean,
putting a
that's
sign.
closer to the boat launch where people might see it.
Can we wait to get the sign and then make the decision of where it's going, depending
I
on
think
how
they're gonna
large
put
it
it up
is?
if we tell them. where.
Yeah, but if you got I mean, you can go down there and take a look, and use that, zip down to it.
Right.
This is the one that slides back and forth, that's probably, no one's gonna like that because it's gonna block, I mean, the
But
big
But it is
sign.
closest to your kayak launch, and there's a lot of kayak rules in
But
there.
maybe this is the one I was talking about, that slides across. And that's the one you mentioned that it
That's
would
what I'm
block.
talking about too.
We could
That'll
do
block
that, but it
you,
would
but
block
it makes
you.
logic
We could
to
do it
have it
here.
right next to the boat ramp, because
Whose
that's
views
people
are
who need to
gonna
read it.
block?
As close as you can get it
Good place.
I don't think so, I mean,
Right.
there.
I mean, if you're
Yeah,
on the
it's not
beach,
bad.
looking at the launch,
Maybe
or
trim
from
up
the
the-
launch, looking at the
That way
beach.
it's
right?
not by the porta potty.
So,
Basketball, but
Right
it's
now, we
fine.
don't have any idea what this sign looks like.
Or
We
how
don't know if
large
it's
it
metal,
is,
we don't know if it's
dimensions.
plastic,
Sure, it's
we
gonna be-
don't know if it's, I mean, I would guess that if the kayak launch and the boat ramp on the other side, it's probably gonna be like a post sign, like in the ground type, something pretty substantial, I would think.
It would make sense to put a couple posts in and put a sign up as opposed to hanging it on the fence.
Right?
Yeah.
That would make
That would
sense.
make a lot more sense, yeah, so
And
that,
they're doing it, they're paying for it, right? I mean, we're not paying for it,
It doesn't
they're
matter.
putting it up.
No,
They
it's
want
just
to
something
know
everybody
they're putting it.
wondered with, they kept saying the rules weren't posted,
And
so.
you couldn't put it on the other side of the launch because that would be an obstruction, like we had that, memorial bench and
Oh, yeah.
thing
Mhm.
on that other side, so it would have to be on this side of the launch.
I guess we gotta find out how big this thing is.
We kind of do, we need to ask questions.
Yeah,
We need to ask the park district.
Yeah, because he had a lot of stuff written out that he was gonna put on that sign.
Joanne just wanted to have a discussion about it, to.
Probably drive.
Well, I told him we'd have a discussion and get back to him.
Yeah,
Probably drive over to the other side and see what kind of signage they have, and that would probably give us an idea.
I get the impression from the email that the signs aren't made yet.
Yeah,
They did contact us and Lori Glenn, so
Be the same sign.
I guess we gotta put one somewhere.
Do we have any signage down there that says no fishing from the beach?
no, but that's a good idea.
That's just actually-
Leslie brought that to light, and I didn't really think about it, because I'm like, somebody wants to stand on the wall and fish, and she mentioned that,
You could put
You
a
know,
no
kids-
fishing sign on the fence.
yeah, the kids could step on the hooks, and that'd be pretty
I
painful.
mean, right now, they're parking by the big tree with the bench around it and then going around the fence.
yeah,
Yeah,
there
we'll
was
put
a,
some
there was
signs.
a guy that was fishing on the beach a couple days ago.
Yeah,
And, as I recall, during swim season, there's no fishing on the beach, which made sense to me that there's just no fishing on the beach. So I circled back around and said, just to let you know, there's no fishing on the beach. And he said, well, can I fish over here in the grass on the village side? And of course, I was like, oh, I don't know, okay. I just
no,
I said, I don't.
that's not, the other side is, it's not village, it's,
No, it's
And
the
we own
village,
that
on
tree.
the other
Oh,
side
we
of
own
the
that
fence,
tree?
we
Yeah.
own the
Okay.
grass right there, but then Joanne said, no, right? They can't.
Well, it used to be there was signs all along the walls, no fishing.
Can
On
they
the wall
fish
part,
it?
now, I don't know about the boat ramp down to the oaks.
I think the rule, well, there's no fishing on the beach, and then when the docks are in, there's no fishing.
yeah, because of
So
the,
the issue would be, can you fish when there isn't docks?
Can you fish at Point Park?
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
a fisher person, so I didn't know how to answer him. So then, of course, he was like, well, who are you? And I said, I'm Leslie Burns, I'm a council person. And then he said, shouldn't you know this? And I'm like, I probably should.
Well, you can fish at Point Park.
Yes, okay, yes.
was he a resident?
Actually, he was.
Yeah, you're right.
The reason why I stopped was because I was certain
With
he
his little
probably was
kids,
not.
of course.
He was, he
was
gave me an address on Rustic Brook, so he was a resident, so.
Okay, well, we'll circle back to the sign, but I agree, we'll look at signs to put up at the beach. I have some other signs that I need to wrap my head around and figure out exactly what we're gonna.
We can brainstorm on that.
We used to have it
Yeah.
posted on the tree, but of course we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this tree.
The trees.
Because you guys won't replace the tree.
Are you boycotting mayor until they do put the
Are you
tree
gonna-
back?
Absolutely, I'm gonna keep aggravating them, I keep aggravating everybody till we get our way. I'll never get the fire station back, guys, I understand that, but still. I'm not getting over it.
Oh my gosh.
And we got our contract for mosquito, Dale from our mosquito sprayer. I guess the cost of material's gone up, and so has his pricing. went up $95 an application. And he mentioned that this should have been increased last year, but he already started spraying, and then his supplier is charging more money.
He did increase it last year.
He did slightly, but it should have been more, according to what he said.
Okay.
Because he increased it for one reason, and then his supplier raised their pricing, but he was already locked in and didn't want to come back to us on that. So it's.
Makes sense.
What does that make it per application?
It's $5.15 per application, and that's up $95. So yeah, the problem.
Once a week, twice a week? What do you do?
He does it twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. But it's pretty important to have, obviously, because, you know, we got these bad players.
Depends on what's going on.
With the
Yeah.
mild winter that we've had, and the warmer weather even that we have today, we had some warmer weather. We've had a lot of rain the past few days. Are we thinking about starting this earlier than?
Well, I can tell you, I was
the
getting
weekend?
bit up today, man.
Yeah, I have seen some mosquitoes out, and we did have a very mild winter in comparison to normal winters.
Yeah, maybe, you know, if it starts warming up quickly. If we're gonna go with it, I mean, I think there's really not another game in town. I looked around.
We don't have a choice. He's
Yeah.
not fair with us.
I couldn't find
I
anything.
imagine it did get raised, everything else has, why wouldn't that?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing.
We could have a bat box project for kids.
It's a good
That would
idea.
actually be a good idea.
They used to have bat boxes across the lake. I remember when I first moved in here.
I know they have to be very, very specific.
Mayor
in size
Garland
and
thought
shape.
that would be a good way to combat mosquitoes rather than spraying.
It really is,
It
actually.
didn't work for that.
Oh, okay.
So is everyone in agreement? I don't sign this. Joanne, you signed it, right?
Yeah, if you make
Okay.
the motion to accept it.
Oh, well, I'd like to make a motion to accept the increased cost to, who's this guy?
Dale signed.
Dale, what's his,
Valley View.
Spray Services LLC.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and I think that's it, so hopefully that's it. We received 11 beach attendant applications so far, so that's positive. A lot of those, I didn't open them up, but a lot of them are probably returning, which is fine. That's a lot. That's, you know, we only need a couple more, and that's almost full capacity, which is very good. And
Don't forget, half of them quit after 4th of July.
they do, yeah, that's true. So we gotta load the forces up. But that's it. That's all I have. If anyone has any questions for me?
The sign for the park district rules, is that gonna have the Medina County Park District logo and name on it
Yes,
and their phone number? So that there's no confusion that the rules belong to the park district and not the village, and that it's not the village's responsibility to answer questions about the rules?
That's a good question. You should clarify that.
Yeah, no, I didn't really think about it, but yeah, that's better. You know, don't shoot the messenger.
Well, as
Talk
I'm
to
sitting
them.
here, things are very confusing because there's a lot of blending, it seems like, going on between the park district and the village. And I mean, we have a village resident who's gonna be handling the permits for the boats for the park district. And you're talking about possible compensation for her. Wouldn't that be the responsibility of the park district to compensate her?
Well, the compensate, it would be more so for her, for everything else she does for us, because this mechanism is already in place. We're just adding to it.
Yeah, well, excuse me, I haven't been to all these meetings and I'm not 100% up to date on all that stuff, but it just, when you just start hearing it for the first
Yeah.
time, it's somewhat confusing because there's a lot of discussion about the park district. And those of us who live here know how tricky it is in terms of property ownership along the lake and whose rules are whose. And I just think that, you know, that if the general public is down here, they're not gonna have all this back information like we know when we live here or listen to the village, you know, meetings.
you know, Jill, that they had a lot of discussion with the residents all winter long
Oh,
about
yes, I'm-
different issues. And the result of all this, now tell me if I'm wrong.
I went to
The result of all this was this agreement for these rules. One of the things that they stated was that the rules were not posted anywhere,
Right.
which was a fact. So that now the park district is doing that. The rules that they have on this sign are the ones approved most recently. And, you know, it pertains to the lake. So I'm sure the sign will say Medina County Park District, just like 100 years ago, they used to say Chippewa Lake Park on them.
But that is a good question, because I have photos of all the signs on their side of the lake, and not one of them has the park district logo, or that, you know, any phone numbers or anything about the park district. I have a photo of every sign on the other side, and none of them say by authority of the park district. Or
No, that's good.
So we should get them to put that on there.
Take
That's a
the
good
onus off
idea.
the village people, and, you know, it's the park district's rules, it's their enforcement, it's their, you know, I was at all those meetings.
Yeah, well, I believe this sign is a result of what came of all that and what
Right.
people wanted, so they, I
I'm
guess
not
they should make it clear.
suggesting there's anything wrong with the rules, what I'm suggesting is that it's the park district's.
Well, it's a good catch.
Yeah.
Leslie just mentioned that they're not on the present signs that we wanted on our side.
Right.
Their sign that's
It's their
on
side.
on our property by our boot ramp.
So I was one of the stakeholders, and those signs are supposed to contain, they're supposed to have, Medina County Park logo, and they're supposed to have a contact for Medina County Parks and an emergency way, a way to contact for emergencies.
No?
Oh, good.
And then there's also, instead of having gobs of writing, it's gonna be a QR code.
Oh, I think I did.
So, there'll be some things, the most important things, but if you wanna look at a whole set of rules, he's planning on using a QR code.
You have to get a copy of that, what he's wanting to present on the sign. That's a unique way. And there's a formula, depending on how far you want the sign to read from, that's how big the letters are. So it's, you know, 1 inch for 15 feet or whatever the number
So I
is.
don't know how big, we didn't talk about that, but we did talk about getting all the things on there, and he said, well, we
He
can.
implied by the email, I don't believe they've made them yet.
No, they haven't been made yet.
So I'm sure we can get a look at it before they put it out.
And there may
That
even
size.
be a picture of the lake, with the perimeter, the new perimeter, and like the swim areas and where the launch ramps are, because one of the things that we did talk about was emergency exits from the lake too, if somebody's injured, and how do you get them out quickly? You know, we've gone to the public ramp for historically, but that doesn't always have to be. Maybe it's closer to come to our village ramp, but, so they may even be asking you for a key for the police to get through that gate. So, just, that's what I know. I don't know what the progress of the sign is, other than those are the things that we were told would probably be on there. So.
Well, very informative, thank you. Good,
Okay, do you have anything else for parks?
that's it.
Okay, now Bud is not here for streets, but, you know that we did apply for that loan for that, OPWC grant, and we did get the loan. None of that will start until July. July to get the money for the OPWC grant, and Gary, that email sounded like they'd give us the loan money when they felt like it.
Yeah, when we have to tap into those monies, yeah, we get the loan. Now, they'll send us a loan agreement that we have to sign initially and get that back to them, but then the money's due to come available.
Okay, so anyhow, that's been approved, that loan, that's, this all takes place a little closer to July, the grant money and everything. But I'm not sure when he's having it done, but he does have a contract for some road replacement on Parkway Path, which I know the people on that road have been asking about that, and Columbia Gas is still in the neighborhood. They've been working on Bass Bay and Brookshore and Longacre. They're working in front of my house. I gotta say, they're pretty good at cleaning up after themselves every day. They really are. kind of good crew that's out here with them. So that's still ongoing. That's all I know about roads. So now we'll go to, anybody have any questions about roads?
I have a question. So on Longacre, there's some new blacktop. Is that from the gas company? There's like
Yeah,
lines of.
yeah, and they'll, when they get done with that whole job, they'll be coming in and fixing some of that.
Okay.
Putting the lawns
It's like
back.
a golf cart speed bumps.
Yeah, there's one by
That's
my
true.
backyard, I can hear it, everything bounces when it goes over from Heather's house.
That's just me.
Well, maybe we need a speed bump on Longacre, not to mention.
You got 20 of them.
Right, oh my gosh.
Okay, Alan, law director.
Okay, I have only one case pending in court. The charge is assault, and there's no trial date set yet. Beyond that, we have the advertising done in place for the sale of lots, 2 lots at Garmin and Chippewa Road at the next meeting, May 13th, and that'll be by public auction.
I don't have the newspaper, but I was told today that one of the parcel numbers was incorrect by a resident. And they also said that they saw on the council meeting that was gonna be advertised on our website as well, and they keep checking the website and it has not been there.
Who should I send it to get it on the website?
Lisa Crossan
Lisa, okay.
or Katrina.
Well, that, if one of the numbers is wrong, I'm gonna be amazed because it's been proofread several times. But I'll check it.
I didn't know where to even check it. I don't get the Gazette, so
Yeah, I've got the ad here.
So you said it's a parcel number?
that's what I was told, yeah.
I don't think so, but I'll check it.
Okay.
I know the lot numbers are correct, 297 and 298. But I'll check on that and, I'm sure we'll get it straight. Beyond that, I've also got, we need the 3rd reading of the ordinance to approve the lake lease agreement with the Park District. This is, the lease. I've sent it to everybody. Hope you got it. Lease of the water at the beach for village use, exclusive village use.
And the boat ramp.
And the boat ramp, right. And the lease looks good to me. I sent it to everybody. I'll answer any questions if I can. And we need the ordinance read, so. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, 3rd reading, ordinance number 893-24. An ordinance approving the lease agreement between the Village of Chippewa Lake and the Medina County Park District regarding the lease of lakeshore land and certain parts of the lake for a period January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2033, and declaring the same an emergency. So it's a 10-year lease, which is typically what we've had in the past. And it makes the village responsible for the area, cleaning it up. If you want to put in any improvements, you have to get permission from the Park District. I assume that doesn't include the dock and other normal items that are there. And it's pretty straightforward, in my opinion. Question? Yes.
Does it have to be an emergency? I thought after 3.
This is 3rd reading.
Oh, this is the 3rd reading, so it doesn't have to be.
Right.
That's just how the title was written.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I usually write them that way in case council wants them to pass it right away.
Yeah, I wasn't, I
Right.
wasn't sure if you did 3 readings and then passed it at the next meeting, or if you could pass it after the 3rd reading.
No, we're gonna
You
pass
can
it.
pass it.
Right
This is
now or
the
not
3rd
pass
reading,
it?
so
We just need somebody to make a motion.
no emergency is necessary.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Was that the motion to waive it? No, we don't need that, I'm sorry.
It's a
Just
motion to
pass it.
adopt the ordinance.
Right. Exactly. We hardly ever do that. It's good.
I'm glad you did for once.
Well, emergency doesn't mean emergency.
Oh, I know.
It's just,
We do a lot of that because we meet once a month, not once
Yeah.
a week.
exactly.
Okay, have anything else?
We have a resolution which would approve the 911 system plan for the county. If you, I haven't written it up yet, but I have it, and have the paperwork from the county. So if you want me to prepare that and send it out for next month, I will.
Yes, we do that.
Okay. That's all I've got.
Okay, finance, Gary?
Saturday, I distributed the March bank reconciliation report to council, reflecting everything in balance. Any questions or comments? I have a motion authorizing council to sign off on bank reconciliation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. On Saturday, I delivered to council the appropriations report through the end of March. Any questions or comments on appropriations through March?
Right.
I have a motion authorizing council to sign off on appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. I didn't pass around the February appropriations for signature. You approved them, but I never sent the sign-off sheets, so you're gonna have 2 sign-off sheets for bank reconciliation and appropriations.
Now, would you be, Gary, would you be able to send me the bank statement like you have in the last couple of months?
Sure.
Follow through with that.
Yeah. Okay. Saturday, I delivered to the mayor and council the first pass of the 2025 budget. That includes a statement that I needed a final request for adjustments to that budget in my possession no later than May 31st. I also raised concerns that if all appropriated monies for 2024 and 2025 are spent, there could be significant impacts to appropriations in 2026. As always, I offer to meet one-on-one with anyone or as a group to review any budget questions or concerns. Council does have to do something. You can't say we're just gonna let it go as is and not worry about it. If you spend everything that's appropriated in 2024, that means, and if you also plan to spend everything appropriated in 2025, you will be hurting in 2026. Because you're only gonna go in with about $37,000 versus anywhere from 200,000 to 100,050 that you've had in the past. That's a big impact. So there's no getting around it. You have to do something either this year or a combination of this year and next year.
What's the deadline you're looking at?
Well, again, May 31st. I'd like to know the answers to those questions, May 31st. Any adjustments for 2024? And what you're going to do about 2025? Because if you look at those reports, and again, that's why I'm willing to meet with any one of you, or as a group to explain them, because I know they're complicated. But we can't ignore it.
Well, we have a finance committee was set up for the money market and checking account interest side, that are somewhat tuned into the numbers. It'd be nice if we had a special meeting on budget issues prior to the May meeting, since you gotta go May 31st is your drop dead date. Would that be appropriate, Mayor?
Yep.
My only concern, let me comment on that, I have no problem with that. The only thing is that if you want the finance committee to make the decisions for all the departments, of where your spending is going to be, that's where you're possibly headed. This is why I encourage all council members to participate in this.
Yeah, it would be.
Were you
Not
talking
just
about
the
having
finance
all the
committee.
council members at your meeting?
I think they need to be.
They do, they need to be.
Okay.
Because if we start cutting monies, I think you all want to be part of that and voice your opinion.
Let me give you ask a what if. I mean, what would be if we're across the boards to get it back to the numbers, to say everybody's got to reduce theirs by 5%, I'm just picking it up. Does that get you to where you want to be? And everybody would share the concessions.
In the document that I sent to council and the mayor, I suggested a $70,000 reduction in 2025. You can make that same reduction in 2024, which would help. So that would be a starting number.
So we don't have a percent number.
I don't have a percent, no.
But that would be a place to start. I mean, there's special projects that each one has to go. Like the one budget I'm involved with is sheriffs. We have a budget number of hours. We have a budget price per hour. There are extras that go on to that as they get over. There's fuel costs that go to that, but we could estimate that fairly quickly. So I probably have some X dollars over in safety that I could figure what that percent is. But everyone may have to look at their own budgets and come away with that mine might be $8,000. That's not $70,000. Streets are the bigger number, so that's more impact.
Which is why it takes everyone, in my opinion.
Sure, I agree.
To comment and agree.
We'll come up with a date for that meeting prior to the May meeting.
Okay, yeah.
So we got some conversation going.
Sure. And again, we're primarily talking the general fund. And why do we always talk the general fund? Because it finances every department, except streets. Streets has multiple funds to draw from. And here, in 2022, we spent $207,800. And council has all these numbers. In 2023, we spent $227,200. In 2024, you're forecasted to spend $329,300. That's why these numbers are significant. And in 2025, the budget that I put out for you folks, it's another 303,000, almost 304,000. The numbers have to be reduced. Otherwise, you're going to have problems in 2026. So I'm giving you at least a 1 year's warning, actually 2 years. Okay? But we have to react to it now. So we'll take a look at the date for meeting in May, and I'll send something out. Now, if decisions are going to be made at that meeting, it has to be a public meeting. If all we're going to do is just toss ideas back and forth without any decisions, then it doesn't have to be public.
You can have that similar to a committee meeting, which is a public meeting though, any committee meeting, and you can make a recommendation at a committee meeting and then present it to council.
Correct.
And that would probably be the same that you could do at a finance meeting.
Yeah,
Except the committee meeting also has to be published as public, and this kind of meeting would too, right?
Yeah, I would view where you would talk about the general outlay, come to some consensus on what we need to do and then present it at the council meeting. Monday, May 13th would be the next scheduled council meeting. I'd have to look in calendars, but certainly the week or 2 weeks prior to that would be appropriate.
Without having it before the meeting, a half hour, I don't know how much time we would have need for this, but.
I think if we allowed an hour, that should be more than adequate, unless there's a lot of exchange of comments, opinions, disagreements, whatever.
Well, and would it make sense to meet not that same night, so we have time to think about the ideas we bounced around?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, if we end up having 2 meetings, so be it. But again, I'm bringing it to your attention because something does have to happen based on the numbers. You're fine for this year. If you want to spend that much, you're just going to really hit yourself going into 2026. Big time.
The part of that, if you don't have excess going in it, because the revenues, even though you may have revenues, they don't come in one big block. You get the revenues coming in monthly.
it takes 10 months for us to get all of our revenues. Some people thought, oh, January 1st to get all the money. No. It takes 10 months to get all the monies that are budgeted.
Plus, we don't have any COVID money or down money, which has been helpful in the last couple of years.
We don't know who Rich is gonna die and get us from.
Took a long time for that one.
So I'll send some dates out to council, when we could possibly meet in May before the May 13th meeting. And I'll get that out, and it would be a public meeting, so we'll get that published as well once everybody agrees. Any further comments, questions on 2025 budget at this point? Okay. In the 2025 budget, I did set up a new appropriation accounts for the OPWC loan repayments that begin in 2025. For phase 9, we borrowed $155,620. We will be making payments of $7,781 per year for 20 years. The loan can be paid in full at any time with no prepayment penalty, and it is a zero-interest loan. Any questions about the loan that we've got coming up for OPWC? Okay. I have activated a new fund number 2906 as requested by Mayor Leonardo to receive all revenue for the sale of watercraft stickers for the Medina County Park District. I guess we're calling them watercraft permits. Docking permits. It's imperative that those monies be kept separate and isolated from other monies collected from the beach. Why? Because they have to be reported into the new fund number. The way I've set it up, with the account codes in that new fund, the monies can be spent for any need that the village has in any department. So that's the new fund number for the permits. Any questions on Fund 2906? That's in effect right now. I sent a tentative budget up for $10,000 on the revenue and $10,000 on the expenditure.
There's been the $10,000 on the expenditure side, there's been no allocation, that just goes to general fund.
No, it'll go right into Fund 2906. But
So who's gonna control the budget?
Yeah, I will report on it, yeah.
It's general fund, you can use it for anything.
No, it's not a general fund.
It's in the general fund.
No,
No?
it's in Fund 2906.
It's a separate fund, but it can be used for anything.
That is
Right.
correct.
Right.
That is correct.
They've already provided the docking permits for this year, so we don't have to find them this year.
So there's no revenue this year? No, we're docking.
So far, there's no expense.
Okay.
But we are getting revenue this year because we're selling tickets this year.
Yes.
Which is why I set the new account, the new fund up this year already.
Plus, if you notice in the agreement, she eventually gives Park District asks for a record of who she sold to and stuff. She
That'll
gives
make it
to them.
easier.
Right.
But the agreement says it's for the general fund.
I did see that. The benefit that you get from the general fund is it can be used anywhere. The
Right.
way I've set this fund up, it can be used anywhere as well. And this way, all the monies are tracked coming in and going out.
Right, we need that for the park district, and I don't think they're gonna care about the fund designation.
Right, because if they want to ask, if they want a tracking of the monies coming in and going out, that'll be quite easy to provide.
I think Amber's keeping track of it.
Okay. Any other questions, comments in 2906 for permits? Okay. As reported at last month's meeting, I did transfer $60,000 out of the money market account, and that went into the primary checking account because we were exceeding the FDIC coverage limit in the money market account. So those monies have been transferred and everything is earning 4%. Any questions or comments?
And I've been following that because I didn't quite understand how they would report that, and everything was fine from my standpoint. I'll keep tracking it. I know that Amy Weimer has been following those things.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone disagree with the idea of adding the village banking and investment policy to the administrative section of the Code of Miscellaneous Ordinances? Just thought that'd be a good place for it to be, because whoever comes along in the future, it would be there and everybody would know about it.
I think that's appropriate.
I'll take care of that.
Could we need a motion to do that?
You motion to adopt it as part of the miscellaneous ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Ken, you'll be setting up a date where we're gonna meet with all new beach attendants for paperwork?
Yes,
Okay,
I don't have a date yet, but I'll be,
okay, but one will be set up, so we can do that. That worked out well last year.
yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. As a reminder, OPEC grant monies in the amount of $1,643 are available. I must submit a project for review and approval before monies can be accessed. So once council decides on a project, I'll submit the documentation for review. Any question on OPEC?
Can you repeat that amount?
$1,643.
We're gonna target that for the pole down at Point Park, I think. Some
Well,
of that.
that was a thought about that, that and the, with the PEP grant, whether or not that could be combined.
We used the PEP grant for something.
What were we gonna use the PEP
I
grant?
thought we did, didn't we? Was that for the gravel or the, am I getting mixed up with because we used
No.
last year to this year's as well, the way it fell. I thought, I don't know.
Because we haven't even filed the application for this year for PEP.
Okay.
So that's another $1,000 with PEP. And again, I need a project for that, and, PEP has to be related to safety-related expenses, but again, I have to submit it for approval. So we got those two grants with monies, that I'm sure will be approved once you guys identify a project or projects.
Barb, do you remember how much the pole allocation was?
I don't have my note with me, right now, but I had a general idea. I want to say it was 4,500 for a pole and a light,
So you're pretty close.
but that was just doing some investigating on my own. I don't have an actual quote, like Thompson Electric did the work down there the last time. So I don't have a quote. I could have them come down and give me a quote for that. I know I had requested extra money to be appropriated for that. And I think I also even had asked whether or not NOPEC would approve us to roll over that money from one year to the other so that we could have more money for a project like that.
NOPEC does, you probably recall, last year we used all the NOPEC monies that we had.
Right.
Right, but you can roll NOPEC over, but it's a maximum of 2 years.
Okay,
The year you get it plus one extra year.
okay.
No, I could explore a little bit further, but sometimes they will, finance certain types of projects for big street light stuff that I was hearing, but I could maybe explore it a little bit further if there's, if we need some extra funds.
I mean, if they could, you know, supplement the cost of that, I'll get in touch with Thompson Electric and see if they could come down and give me a quote.
And I'll work through my NOPEC client to better clarification.
Yeah, in all cases, to apply for the grant, I do need actual bids. quotes
Right.
For the work. Okay. Any other questions, comments on those two grants? Okay. As of the end of March, balance of the primary checking account, $310,990.39. Money market, $197,660.95. Star, Ohio, $107,305.63. For a total, $615,956.97. And people always ask, well, you've got so much money, why are you concerned about it? Because it's based on if you use, again, all monies that are appropriated, it greatly reduces your carryover in the following year. And again, those figures are on the reports that I gave to council and the mayor. So you can look at those numbers and see for yourself what I'm talking about.
So on the first account, the 310, that's where you rolled the 60,000 out of that.
That's correct. And that's why the money market is down below the 200 and nearly 60,000 that it was. We talked about the resolution for the Plan 11 final plan, so that's good. Chippewa Lake rulings. Okay, we spoke about that. So don't need that. Autograph sticker, we spoke about that. Oh, Tabitha, did you say the agreement was signed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the mayor already sign that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I hadn't seen that, but okay, so as long as it's been signed, it's good. Okay, that's all I had for finance.
Okay.
I have a question for finance. Where on these, the budget is the income for, the beach passes and the sticker sales?
Now that all goes into the general fund, which is why I set a separate fund up for the permits that we're now issuing.
So it's not a line item on the financial worksheet?
As far
As the income, I see the expenses for that, so I did.
right, okay, on the budget sheets,
I mean, I see salaries for beach employees and such, but I don't see the income from sticker sales and fees.
right, that's correct. And let me just take a look at one thing here.
You can't get back to me on it, if we're gonna be reviewing all the finances.
So I had the same question on where our expense for real estate taxes that the village pays to that. And I thought it was a bigger number. Some of that went to Heidi's issue because it's,
Right.
so it's a non-performing asset for performing that.
Right.
Tax. So it's valued for
Right.
cost from that. And it was in this sheet, which is a little different format.
Okay,
The appropriation sheets.
I mean, 'cause I'm not taking money out of my budget, I'm gonna take money out of Ken's budget.
So I will let you know where those monies, I don't know the account number off the top of my head, but it goes into the general fund, and I'll tell you which account number it is so you can look it up.
That's fine, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions in finance?
Okay, do we have any old business? Okay, we'll go to the audience. Mark?
No.
Mark, you were absent last
Yes,
month
nice to have
without
you
an
back.
excuse. By the
No
way.
show.
I looked at my eyeballs in the Bahia Bowl.
Jill, did you have anything? Deb?
No.
Bill?
Yeah, Ken does.
Yeah, with everything, Bill, or Keith and Bud, they mentioned that we need some, the sandbox needs to be replaced. It's, Wally Park can't be repaired. So I'll take a look at that and go back on that. All the spending we're doing, and we just got yelled at for 25 minutes by Dad over there. So, well, I'll go by there and take a look and see what's, what's gonna cost. I don't think it'll cost a lot of money, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I'll take a look at it. It's just wooden,
Just lumber.
yeah.
Anything else, Bill?
Let me take a look
They
at
said
that.
it needs to be replaced.
Yeah, Keith,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
Keith
what I
was
said.
saying today about the sandbox.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I did that 20 years ago, so let me take a look at it.
Oh, okay, yeah, if you don't mind. So you put that together many years ago, okay.
You know, the craftsmanship of the people trying to do the repair, I think maybe it can be done.
Okay, yeah, awesome, I
Good
appreciate
thought.
that.
Trustee O'Neill.
I do not, but can I give a shameless plug for the Fire Association breakfast again? Sunday?
Well, you know,
8:30 to 1.
Chief Kavanaugh, you didn't have to stay here all this time.
Oh, it's all right. Sometimes they
You're
explain
only
that
showing up for
entertaining.
these guys, because.
Entertaining.
Yeah, okay.
I was afraid they were gonna fire me today.
And trustee Fullerton.
I didn't come with prepared for anything, but the township newsletters are being mailed out this week. Some highlights, new trustee swearing in, article. We have a new zoning inspector, new administrative assistant. We did quite a bit of work at our administration building, the old police station side where there was the 3 garage bays. We carpeted it, put windows in, made it a conference room, and there's some workstations in there. The town hall, we put a new roof on that last year. We just finished up the exterior, put new windows in it, and of course, those projects didn't cost the residents any money. We used ARPA funds for that. And then I think they're gonna start drywalling inside the town hall in the middle of May. They should be done by end of June or something, so just keep them busy, doing stuff like that.
Well, thank you both for coming to our meeting.
Oh, one other thing, the Lions Park Pavilion is up. We're just waiting on a concrete contractor to concrete the slab.
I hope that does better than the pavilions that used to get put up there. If any of you have not been back into Lions Park, actually, they've made it quite nice
Really
back
nice.
there.
It's so nice.
We were surprised we only go in after the 4th of July parade, but really it is worth a look. And did you get the guy on the driveway out of the way?
Working on that, I think. Yeah, so concrete for the pavilion, what else was going? I forget. No. But yeah, trying to work on it.
Sounds like you guys are doing good work.
I appreciate it.
Do you have the plant sale in the newsletter, right?
Yes, they were able to get the plant sale in the newsletter. There's a little bit of controversy over it, but every prosecutor's office said it was fine. So the plant sale and the 4th of July parade are in the newsletter.
And we did get permission for the
corner lot, yes.
Yeah.
The Lions Club is having the Mother's Day plant sale on May 11th.
Okay, the Saturday before Mother's Day, yeah. Come and buy all your plants.
Leslie is in charge of it this year. Yep. Okay, is that Howard back there?
Oh, I'm hiding.
I guess you're not in
No
Florida.
comments, good job.
Did you have any comments or?
No comments.
Pam?
You guys do a good job.
Anybody else back there?
No.
Because I couldn't even see that Heidi back there.
I had comments on the siren. It activated last Saturday, I was out of town, the mayor heard it. No explanation on that.
It's plugged in.
Well, that's one, it's been a reception issue. And that could be climate issues. The other is we approached Representative Sharon Ray. They passed this off to Senator Romanchuk for special funding on that siren, $35,000. And that's out money they can allocate out of the budget area, and not heard anything back from the senator's office.
Don't you think it was interesting what Chief Kavanaugh said about sirens not going off, and then would you say they did make them work?
So it's called a repeater. It's a radio, like portable radios have like, you got one radio here, one radio here. And there's this big piece of equipment. I'm not a radio guy, but it's called a repeater, and that relays the signal farther. So that
Like a
repeater.
Wi-Fi extender.
Yeah, it's like a Wi-Fi extender. Yeah, so that repeater malfunctioned, and Cleveland Communications, who services that, the county called them in, and they fixed that problem. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I was wondering, yeah, if that would, might have made ours work.
Potentially upgrading that repeater could potentially make it better, and maybe it actually hit that signal, which would be great, so.
Yeah, it would.
But I'm also working, I'll have them come out as well. They're coming out to Federal Signal Corps, which is the siren companies, I'm gonna have them come out and look at our siren in the township, I can have them come out and look at this one as well, and make sure that they're functioning properly, and if they're, what upgrades we need, we get, invoice or whatever, not an invoice, but a proposal, say it's how much it would cost to upgrade our sign, so.
Just for fun, have them make sure ours is plugged in.
And plug it in. Go in button.
Okay, is there any other new business?
One thing, if I may. I was firm, but I don't think I was young.
Are you getting ready to yell now? Because if so, we'll adjourn first.
No, I'm not getting ready to yell. Because I was firm about
It was close.
No, thank you.
Educate those accountants.
Okay,
It's very soon.
one more motion,
Motion to
guys.
adjourn.
Second.
Okay,
Aye.
see you next month.